Welcome to Trusted Podcast, where it's all about discovering who you are and learning the tools and strategies to make every area of your life a little sweeter. And now your host, master coach and caddy, Fader. Hello, everybody.
Welcome.
No, you're not in Aloha land, right?
No. My memory is starting to forget what that coconut tree even looks like.
You
But
wouldn't be wearing a snow cap in, in Hawaii, would you?
well, when it gets in the high 60s,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah?
we put on our hoodies and our caps. Yeah.
Oh, there you
Or
go.
when we're having a bad hair day,
Yeah,
you
there you
know.
go.
Yeah, what are we talking about today? This is
We're talking about
exciting.
hole number 7.
Number
So,
7.
as you've been following along the journey, the 18 holes of mastering life, hole number 7 is a culmination, in a way, of the front 9. Even though it's hole number
Mhm.
7, we think it's special, mainly because it's all about give to live. That's the title of this hole. It's the concept that we want to talk more about, and I don't think I could think of a better time to talk about it than Thanksgiving, holidays, Christmas time. We're just in the season of giving.
Jesus,
So,
Jesus, the ultimate
yeah,
giver.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
perfect.
that's what we want to talk about today. What do
Good,
you
let's
got for that?
dive. Well, one of the topics that often eludes us is when we talk about giving, we think about money. And
Mm,
certainly that is a really good thing to give. But a lot of times that's the easiest thing to do is just give the money, right? Most
yeah.
people understand that giving their time away can really be one of the most difficult things. Also, giving their knowledge away. We love to give our opinions away and,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And we love to give in 8 different categories. One of
Mm,
the things that we do at Trusted Coaching, as you know, is we talk and teach and really fundamentally dive into giving in those 8 different categories. And sometimes people say, well, Fader, what does it look like to give socially? It
mhm.
might be just a party that my wife is so excited to go to on the 22nd that her
Mm,
girlfriend does every year. She looks forward to that so much. She doesn't want to miss it. We used to do a Christmas party at our house with our friends, and I remember one year when my friend said, cheers, and I cheers. And there's about 38 of us in the room. He said, if I weren't at this party, I'd probably just be sitting home. So socially, just giving a party or a smile or a handshake, or
mhm.
last night I went to see my wife's, one of her bucket lists was to see Amy Grant and Vince Gill at a
Yeah.
Christmas concert. So good.
Yeah.
And as we were walking out, there was these 2 guys, and they were in their mid 80s, and one had a cane, and I just grabbed his cane and put his arm on my arm and walked him to the doors. And that's a physical way to give.
Mm.
And there's so many different ways to give. And one of the key components of the 18 holes of mastering life is recognizing, especially in the front 9, that all of the other 8 holes lead to this one, because
Mhm.
giving is really the foundation of our soul. It really illuminates and fulfills us when we're giving, but we struggle to know ways to give rather than just money.
Well, I remember you talking about how you have a lot of pro bono coaching relationships. Just people will call you out of the blue. I like to think about how there's unique ways for us to give. And one of the biggest themes of Trust It is to examine yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And unless we come to know ourselves in the deepest ways, I think that there's just an opportunity that we could miss in terms of how we give to people because you're so unique, because there's things that you do. Isn't there a player who like goes to Smith's and other things and he just goes and gives to the needy families food and things like that?
Well, he actually goes to Smith's and gets the food that is right on the border that they're not going to sell.
Right.
And he has a big, huge truck with a lift, and he puts all that food in it and delivers it to over 100 families and feeds them.
Yeah.
That's such a great idea. And
Right.
that's one of our challenges to each one of you today is,
Mm.
as you know, Trusted Coaching is all about challenging ourselves to not only find ourselves, but to dig a little deeper and find those gifts, those unique things about us that are hidden and that
Mm.
are just right there in front of us and that we don't know. I challenge each one of you. I challenge my players to come up with 10 different ways, and I give them 2 to 5 years to come up with those. So this is not a exercise
Yeah.
that's done in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But we're taught young like to pay tithing, to give back to the church. You're taught young to share your toys, and you hate it, because
Mm.
especially if it's one of your favorites. One of the coolest things is to sit down and just say, okay, besides where I'm giving right now, what are 3 additional ways that I could give? Physically, spiritually, emotionally,
Mm.
all right? From a financial standpoint, a business standpoint, it's like one of the things that we teach everybody in that's building a practice of any kind or has a company. Where do some of your profits go to give? Where do you do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
That's a tremendous thing. And if your business has some legs to it where you're giving to other parts of your community, and so you first start looking inside your family, then you go to your extended family, then you go to your community, and then you go to your country, and then you go to the world.
Yeah.
One of my players goes to Guatemala every year and he takes 10 to 25 people and they go down and just build stuff he's been doing it for years. Such a tremendous thing. But that's the challenge is see if you can come up with 3 different ways. But the tip of the day at Trusted Coaching is look outside of your financial world. Some of my favorites are the giving box, where you stick out in the corner of your garage and every Sunday you fill it up and take it down or
Yeah.
take it to some organization or Desert Industries, the Salvation Army. We bake chocolate chip cookies and we take them around. So, what are your gifts that you've been given? And for many, that's a surplus of money, but to many, it's a surplus of knowledge. To many, it's a surplus of happiness and just inner emotional strength. How do you give that? There's so many beautiful ways in which you can give that. Counting your gifts and recognizing where they can be used to bless the lives of others. The thing that I love more than all things that I can see with my eyes is the yellow thing up in the sky, because I think that thing gives all day, every day,
Yeah.
never wanting anything back in return other than to take care of the world. We all need to check ourselves, don't we, and see what can we do to take care, to give back to the world that gives us so much. I hope that this message coincides with the message of the season, which is as we head into the Christmas year, to the man who gave it all so that we could have it all.
Like, what makes this the culmination? Like, why do all roads point to this in your mind?
Because all that you are and all that you have and all that you have been given is to bless the lives of others and
Hmm.
yourself. And we're very good at using everything that we've been given to bless our own lives personally.
Yeah.
Um, we get a little selfish at times. We all do. We all have plenty of selfishness inside of us. But the one thing that helps eliminate all of that is giving. The people I believe that and that I look up to that give the most are truly the least selfish people. And so that's something for all of us to work
Hmm.
on. When you look at all the other wholes, they're basically a culmination of our talents, our beliefs, the gifts, all of the things that we're working on that we've already been given. And then how can we take all of that and begin distributing it? But no matter how much you think you're giving, someone might reach out and punch me in the nose for this one, but we love to say, yeah, we're so blessed, especially when they're talking financially.
Sure.
And I'd just be really wise with how you look at that, because then that's like saying most of the world isn't blessed. And God loves all of his children, and the finances are certainly a part of it, but they're a very small part of it.
Yeah.
Very small, very small.
Earlier, I was thinking about the question of those who may have the fear of giving or may overgive and then end up exhausted in some ways. As I thought about that, I recognized, well, if you're doing the other 8 holes, you're going to be giving from a place of abundance because if you go back to our other episodes, what you're going to find is you're going to be filling your life with the things that you love. You're going to be really deliberate about the things that light you up, those projects, those 90-day goals, just all the things that we've been talking about, I think can help us give from a place of abundance versus a place of scarcity and fear and lack. Because I know that for me and for some of the people that I interact with, and they could easily take this message of, you want me to give more? It's like, I'm already giving so much. You know what I mean?
True, especially amongst women,
Yeah.
because they do so much to care for the children. So many of them are employed and they don't have that much time for rejuvenating their own batteries. But there is a secret to the sauce, and the recharging of the battery occurs most when we are giving and we are then taking a moment to recognize just what it is that we're giving. To all those that give so much and that do feel depleted and do feel diminished, that is where we call upon the grace of God, and more importantly, praise others as much as you possibly can, because the more you praise other people, the more praise comes back.
Yeah.
And of all the things that we give, that might be right there at the top. So,
And so simple too. And I think that, one thing to be mindful of for everyone listening is just, where do you feel you're expected to give? If we feel like we have to give in a certain way and we're constantly giving in that way that's not actually nourishing to us, that might be an evaluation point. In what ways can you give that gives you life?
mm-hmm.
And I think that there's opportunities for that. I think there's ways that I love giving and feels great to me to give.
The key is to identify
Yeah.
the areas that you love to give. Like, anybody who's listened to a podcast knows how much I love to pick up trash. I learned that from my mom, and it just resonated with me, and I just love it. When I pick up trash, it recharges my battery.
Yeah.
So just ask yourself that. When I give in this regard, and then the thing that I would plead with all of us that are listening is just don't hold back. Give your love away. As they say, don't reserve it. There are so many people who are so reserved in giving their love away because they're afraid that it's going to expose them. They're going to be left wanting. And that is not ever the case. So, all right, brother.
Yes.
Hey, happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas. To all those listening, thank you. Thank you. Go to trustedcoaching.com. You can find out a lot of the fun things we're doing, where we're going, what the whole point of this program is all about. It's about you. If you're interested in learning more about you, you can trust that.
You can trust it.
Thanks, Tyson. You're amazing.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if you enjoyed this podcast, you'll want to come check out trustedcoaching.com, where you can get more support and coaching to help you become more of who you really are and to achieve the vision you have for your life. Again, that's trustedcoaching.com. We'll see you there.